I think I can record. Yep. So let me ask you another question then. So will it be an issue to get a test in your home country? Because I know that you're going to need a test to get on the plane that shows your COVID
Yeah,
negative.
I have scheduled one test on Monday, so I'm gonna get that done on Monday because United Airlines, the flight which you're flying through, it requires a COVID test to board.
Already they do. Okay, good. There was
And-
a recent change as of January 26. The US government now requires it. It's not up to the airlines themselves. As of January 26, everyone flying internationally landing in the US will need that. But right now, I believe airlines are making their own choice, and it sounds like United has decided to be safe, and that's easier for you too. Yeah, good.
Belle, can you tell us a little bit about your experience entering the US from the Bahamas? Can you just tell us about that?
A few days ago, I think it was Tuesday, my family and I went and we took a COVID test, got the results the next day. We printed it off, and then, yes, on Wednesday, wait, what is today? Today is Saturday.
Yeah.
Sorry. On Thursday, we came to the airport, handed it to the airport people, and then we were let in.
And then when you flew into you flew into DC, or did you fly into
I flew into DC and then into Plattsburgh, and there were some people at the airport who just asked for gave it to them.
Okay. So what we've heard is when you enter New York, which you would have done in Plattsburgh, you are required to complete an entry form, a traveler form.
Yeah, we filled that out on the plane.
On the plane. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. So did you hit any snags, anything that your fellow students would want to know about as they make their plans and prepare to leave home?
No snags.
Great.
It was just smooth sailing. Once you print off all the forms, you have everything. It's all good once you just do that. And then if you don't have the form, there's like a little station where they were handing it out for you to fill in at the airport.
Sounds familiar. I feel like I've done that in every country I've ever landed in the world. Yeah, same process. All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments? I have a bunch.
No.
No?
Actually, there are no questions. You guys have been so helpful and thorough with the information. So everything is like clear.
Crystal clear.
Well,
I'm
that
really
is
glad to hear it.
I'm so relieved. I can go back to my coffee now.
Yeah,
Peter, Mr. Peter has been also helping me on WhatsApp. He's been sending me links and emails of everyone who I want, and he's always like insisting me to send it. Please ask this question on the group. Ask this question on the group. I'm like, okay, next time. But,
Yeah, your questions. I mean, sometimes that's what we were talking about. So your questions really help us figure out the answers. So Belle asked some really good questions about quarantine this morning, and I wasn't confident that I had fully accurate answers. So I forwarded them on to my colleagues who are intended to answer those quarantine questions. So it really helps us when you give us questions so that we can really get the answers for you and for ourselves.
Jackie, I would do this, but I think my internet connection is not stable. If there's time to talk about things, you might want to go through what to expect when they arrive at the airport, what we'll be doing in GEO, the van driving, and the sort of process to get to campus.
Sure. Yep. So Belle flew into Berlin and Plattsburgh, which is a 10-minute drive from the campus, very, very close by. The three of you that are coming together, what airport are you flying into? Is it Burlington?
Yes, that's Burlington.
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
You said
I'm boarding
you're
Plattsburgh.
going to arrive on
Plattsburgh.
Thursday.
Yep. Gurjot's flying into Plattsburgh. So I think, Peter, you have that.
I
Yeah.
thought Gurjot was coming into Burlington. Gurjot, you're coming to Plattsburgh?
I'm coming to Plattsburgh
Oh, I
from
thought you
Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so everybody submitted their arrival information. Yash, you may want to submit it again since you may have put the wrong day on your arrival information.
I have.
No. Earlier you said we were arriving on Friday and it's actually Thursday. So
Yeah.
I'm
Oh God. I nearly had a heart attack. Oh
yeah. And that's why, so my colleague Brooke, our colleague Brooke, who is managing sort of the arrival information, keeping it all in track, she said, why do we make them submit their itineraries? Because they say where they're coming in and when on the form. And I said, yeah, I can't tell you how many times students have gotten the day wrong, or they put in a time that's like there's no flights arriving. So if we have the itinerary, we can track the flight and figure out, oh, so they and I do it all the time, sort of misdid the day transition thing and all the time.
All the time.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how many international flights I've taken.
Yeah. So even the professionals mix up the day, Yash, no worries.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, Peter was talking. I was listening.
Oh, no, nothing. I'm just saying, out of all the international flights I've taken, I still do that. I Thursday is Friday, or Friday is Thursday, or, and then I meet with students every day that are in all parts of the world. And I don't know how I get these time zones correct most of the time. I feel like I should have it mixed up more often than I do, but I know that
thing. In the morning, we'll say, Peter, where are you today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. How far is Burlington from Plattsburgh? Like when we land at Burlington, so there will be a transit system, right? Like a bus system that will pick us up.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
So how long is that from?
I'm your bus system.
Okay.
So no, my very wonderful staff and my husband, by the way, transitioned from being geo professionals and speech language pathologists into being professional van drivers. And we will be picking you up at at the two airports, Plattsburgh or Burlington. What happened? Well, Peter, you've done it before, so maybe you want to explain exactly how this goes. I've only done Plattsburgh recently, so.
Yeah, Burlington Airport is really small. Well, so is Plattsburgh. They're both very small airports, so you're not going to get lost in Burlington. But when you get there and you get off the plane and you head to the baggage claim to get your things, you will see me around that baggage claim with a sign with your name on it. And I will have a blue jacket on and a red shirt on. And I look like this. You should know what I look like. Out of all of the meetings we've had in the last 6 months, you should know that. But yeah, I'll be there waiting for you, and I'm not going to leave until I find you. So yeah, and so I'll find you around the baggage claim, and then we'll get your things. And I kind of have a list of things that we all have to go over together because of COVID rules and policies and safety, all that. We'll go over that, and then we'll get in the van and I'll drive us back to Plattsburgh, sorry. Which it takes, about an hour, Jackie? A little more than an hour?
Depends on whether, so you have to take a ferry across Lake Champlain. And it depends on if you hit the ferry just right or if you just missed it, and then it takes an extra 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's not too bad, and chances are you will fall asleep for a minute, and before you know it, we'll be in Plattsburgh. So it's really quite easy. It's not hard at all. You just gotta sit. You just need to make sure you find me by the baggage claim, or that I find you by the baggage claim, and I'll take care of everything else. So.
Okay.
Just a couple.
Is it snowing? Is it still snowing in Plattsburgh? Like super
Do
close.
you want to see? I'll take my, yeah.
It's
Oh,
snowing
yeah.
right
Yash,
now.
isn't it good to hear that some familiar face is coming to pick us up?
Yeah, it is good to hear, but I'm actually kind of
That's
scared of the snow.
assuring, right?
That's
Oh
falling
my
right
God.
now.
I
Right
need
now.
to pack some warm clothes.
Yeah, you
Yep.
might want some warm clothes.
Yep.
So just a couple of things to add to what Peter said. It won't always be Peter. It will be, we have a team of 4, I think, or 5 of us. It'll be one of us and we'll do exactly those same things. 6, there are 6 of us. And there are some particular things about riding in a van together during COVID. You won't be able to drink or eat in the van. So it's really important that you do not arrive starving or thirsty. So try and make sure of that. And then the hour and a half, it's about an hour and a half, I think, 90 minutes if you're maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so use the bathroom before you go, before you leave the airport, those kinds of things.
Very good advice.
Yeah, and I think you just have to take care, you'll have to take care of yourself or your travel mom will have to help take care of you.
Muskan, you're
Yes,
up.
John,
Muskan.
Make sure they use the bathroom.
Muskan is with us.
And unfortunately, we will have to do some of those things like ask 1,000 questions about how you feel and what you're doing. And we may even take your temperature. That's not the way we like to be. We like to welcome you almost with a hug. But of course, we're not able to do that at this time. So you'll find out how warm and friendly we are soon in person. But right now we have to be warm and friendly at 6 feet distance with windows open and no food or water. So it's not great, but we're going to get there.
We'll have a snack and some water for you that you can have before you get in the van. Like if you're starving when you get off the plane, which has happened to all of us many times, we'll have a little something for you before you get in the car for an hour or so. And if Michelle is driving your van, you'll make it back in like 20 or 30 minutes. So, you know,
Awesome.
keep your fingers crossed that Michelle's the one who picks you up.
Yeah. So then when you get to campus, our van driver will bring you directly to the quarantine residence hall. And we will help you fit in your packet. We'll give you a packet of materials, one of which will be for you to keep, which will include like a card to get in and out of your building for meals, because you can go get your own meals. We'll talk about that later. And the other packet is for you to put all the documents in that we need to copy. So like your I-20, your passport, visa. So we'll have a list of things that you need to put in that packet and give to the driver who's going to bring it to Geo on your behalf. So you have a little work to do besides sleeping between the airport and the campus. If you're coming into Plattsburgh, you have to do it very quickly because it takes only 10 minutes. So you can do it later if you're coming to Plattsburgh.
We will remind you about all of this. You don't have when you get there, so you don't have to remember it right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're going to
Jackie.
say, hey, we need this and that and so on. So
Right.
The
Right.
recent change that we made regarding linens and bedding.
Yep.
Want to update people on that?
Sure. So it used to be in previous years, we would give students sleeping bags for the first night, and then the next day they would go shopping. But because you cannot go shopping very easily, we are providing sheets, a blanket or a comforter, a pillow, pillowcase, and a towel set for you. So when you arrive, when we drop you off at the residence hall, we will give you all of those things. So you need not bring any of those things with you. You can leave them out of your checked luggage.
Oh, so okay. So I already brought like 2 towels and a comforter,
Same.
brand new.
I like
Me
bed
too.
sheets and everything.
Now you don't have to.
So, I mean, if you have,
Can you
if
carry
you
just in
want to,
case? Can you carry just in case? Like what?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just wanted to make sure that when you arrived in your room, you were warm and felt, you could make it home. And that will be your temporary home, because once you're done with quarantine, you will actually move to your permanent housing assignment, which is going to be more than likely in a different building. Yeah. Anything?
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick question. I know I sent it in the email.
Yep.
When I arrive, will I be given the same? When I arrive, how do I get to the quarantine building?
Well, I don't think you need to go to the quarantine building.
Okay.
What is your plan, Belle? Are you planning to come? You were planning on coming to campus on Sunday, the 24th, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will make sure, more than likely what's going to happen is you will go, I think, again, I don't know. I'm waiting for the answer from the quarantine people, but I think you had a question about if you've already quarantined and you got 2 negative results, do you just move into your permanent residence hall room? I believe the answer is yes, but I'm tentative on that because I really need them to answer that question.
Okay.
We will make sure somebody's there, either a member of the GEO staff, or we also have what are called GEO buddies. These are returning international students who are continuing with us, who have been students in the past and are going to be students in spring, who have volunteered to help new students get used to campus. So just send me an email, remind me what time you plan to come to campus, and we will make sure that we will tell you where to go, and we'll make sure that somebody's there to help you.
Okay, thank you.
And we also have sheets, all those things we just talked about, we have them for you too. So if you haven't, if you don't need to order things from Target, if you were thinking about doing that before you moved in.
Okay, and my parents are now asking me to ask you if it's possible for someone to pick me up from the hotel, or if I could just catch a taxi there.
Just like, yeah, we can probably pick you up at the hotel. It's local. As long as we're not using all the vans and all the van drivers on Sunday, which I doubt we will be, we can do that. So could you just send that message to Brooke? You can send it to geoorientation@plattsburgh.edu. It's all one word, geoorientation. And then she's managing the collection of all those kinds of transportation details.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Gurjot, we haven't heard you ask any questions. Is that because Peter has been answering them all for you?
Yeah, it's pretty informative. I'm just listening to others.
Okay. You don't have any other questions at this time?
Yeah, not
So
about recent events. I just wanted to know, like, when the semester ends on 15th of May, after that our summer holidays start. So will be allowed to stay on campus housing for like 4 or 5 days, or do we need to leave it at that day?
Usually you can make arrangements to leave a couple of days later. There's usually a charge, a vacation housing charge. It's not very much, at most, I think $25 a night to stay extra nights. But if you have asked ahead of time, they will usually allow you to do that.
And also, a lot of
Okay.
students finish their studies before the 15th and they choose to leave earlier than the 15th. It depends on your schedule and your exam schedule, which you will not know for quite some time.
Yeah. So you shouldn't plan on leaving earlier because you might have an exam.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
You mentioned about the COVID test we can do on campus. What are the charges for those?
The COVID test on campus?
Yes, what are the charges?
I believe it's free.
Okay.
You're quarantining on campus. Belle's going to an off-campus location, I believe, that is free. So on-campus students can test on campus for free. And actually this semester, every member of our community, student, faculty, staff, all of them, we have to go be what's called pool tested once a week. So every week you'll be doing a COVID test, as long as classes are in session. But not like
what about the vaccine?
Not the nasal one, right?
No. Yeah.
Thank
Good
God.
question.
Wait, the blood one, the blood test.
No, it's so there's like this cotton swab thing and you rub
Okay,
it
that
on
okay,
the
okay.
inside of your mouth and that's what they do once a week.
So no needles, right? No needles.
No needles. Unless
Yeah, she's afraid of needles.
Yeah, I'm afraid of needles.
So
Yeah.
scared.
Me
Yeah.
too, Yash. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Seriously.
Yeah, Janvi, you like needles. I don't know
Tanvi
why you like
likes to
getting
be
poked,
poked.
but I don't know why you like getting
That-
poked every time, but needles are horrible, okay?
Oh, they are.
It's just a medical procedure. Come on.
No,
You're a
it's
medical
not.
student, right?
It's a
No.
needle.
I'm an
She's
art
a
student.
psychology student.
Hey, Neda, how are you, Neda? Thanks for coming. So, no, so we haven't gotten very clear instructions or advice about the vaccine yet. I know that our faculty have now priority for getting vaccinated because of many of them are seniors, many of them are older. I mean, maybe not in their 70s, but 50s and 60s. And so they will be getting the vaccine. There's word that the other staff will be getting it as well. But I think students, because they are less likely to exhibit and get very seriously ill, I think they are further down in the priority list. So no worries, Yash, you probably don't have to worry about getting a vaccine anytime soon.
Okay.
The rest of us are eager, so we'll get in front of you.
Okay.
Nadai, can you hear us? I'm not sure she can. So what else? Let me think about the other questions. So I have 2 sons who go to Plattsburgh, and if I were sending them, one of them is going to go study abroad next year. And so I'm thinking like a parent or a student. Okay, when I'm sending my son, across the world, wherever that might be, what would I have questions about when they got to the other end?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot this question. Are we allowed to carry foodstuffs in the dorm,
Yes.
in the quarantine dorm?
Yes. So the way food's going to happen, because you're in travel quarantine, which is like quarantine light, because we basically, the likelihood of you having COVID is lower than if you were like in the presence of somebody who is positive and all that. So meals are served in a dining hall that's probably a 5-minute walk from where you're staying. So you'll have a card in your residence hall room that allows you to leave. So it's kind of your, I don't know if you ever played Monopoly, but your get out of jail free card. Walk to the dining hall. You walk to the dining hall, you show them your card, you sign in, you get whatever food you want, but you don't eat there. You actually bring that food back with you to your residence hall and eat in your room. You're not allowed until you're out of quarantine to eat in a communal space.
Okay, because no, like I think I'm thinking of bringing some snacks with me,
Oh, sure.
like cup of noodle soup, and like just have to pour hot water into it. So I recently talked to one of my seniors, Sai Lidnani. He's a junior there,
Yeah.
and he said like there's a kitchen on every level, so we can go there and like boil the water, some stuff like that.
So the building you're staying in is an older building and there is not a kitchen on that floor. So if you're buying things or you want to buy things, there's, I'll send you all the kind of water boiler you can purchase, and you can purchase it pretty inexpensively at the Target. And what we're going to do is we're going to have like a shopping, you can order things from Target, and then we will pick them up for you and deliver them to the residence hall. So Michelle or Peter, could you remind me to do that? Because there's a special kind you have to order, and I've looked at it and I think it's like $25 or $30, but you can use, I mean, take it with you to your residence hall room, use it anytime you want a cup of tea or a cup of noodles or whatever you want. It's a great thing to have in your residence hall room, and it's allowed. Most hot pots are not.
So yeah, Jackie, that's a good point. The reason why you can't have anything you want to have in your room electricity wise is because of fire hazards. And there's a very specific list of things that students who live in the residence halls are not allowed to have. And so that means that if you bring things that you plug into a wall, it might be the case that that thing is not allowed. So you should not bring things that you plug into the wall, really. Maybe a hair something, I'm not sure, but most things there's a lot of regulation for in order to keep safe and comply with fire regulations. So in your quarantine room, if you had that water boiler, you would definitely be able to, use it. You'll be able to use the bathrooms. Yes, Jackie, there should be a bathroom that you can use and get the water. But I don't think it's recommended that they use group kitchens in quarantine, Jackie. No. So ordinarily, when you release from quarantine, you will be able to use a community kitchen in your room, but that's after the quarantine period. So during the quarantine period, if you want hot water in your room, you would need to buy one of these specific water boilers, and you would do that after you arrive with a Target run. And your buddy, your Geo buddy, will be super helpful when you get here on how to arrange that.
Yeah, and you can order it, we can pick it up for you that the day after you arrive. So you might have to make it through one day without having hot water for a cup of noodles. But the next day we should be able to pick that up for you at Target.
Okay.
And you get a lot more attention than the poor domestic students who don't have an entire office of people eager to help. So we do the best we can, and we will try to meet your needs. Sometimes we can't meet your wants because we just don't have the resources to do that. But if you really need something, and if you really need hot water to make a cup of soup, we will make that happen for you.
So just a quick question about the dining hall. So I know that's like there's food there, but what about coffee? Because I know there's a coffee place on campus. So is it the coffee available?
Coffee addict.
Oh, come on.
Right here. So yes, this is my second cup of the morning. Yes. So in the dining hall, there's a whole, it's like a food court. There's a whole host of things. I think the food options may be more limited when there are so few students on campus, but there is a coffee machine that you can make coffee. You can get soft drinks, you can get tea or hot water. I know some people just like to drink hot water. So all of that's available right in the dining hall, and you can pick that up and bring it back with you. So that's another solution, Yash, if you want to put, hot water in something. You can bring it with you to the dining hall and use their hot water.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're not limited. I don't know. I'm trying to think if you're limited to one visit, because they're serving 2 meals. Brunch, which is a combination of breakfast and lunch. And that's for about 3 hours every day. And then dinner is also for about 3 hours every evening. So you can, what I'm recommending is take things. I mean, you don't want to waste food, but you want to take things that you might want to eat later in the evening.
Oh, is that allowed? Is that allowed?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I was smuggling food, and that's not allowed in campus.
In the normal dining hall, I don't think it is, but this is different.
Right. So when you're in quarantine, it's allowed because it is all takeout. Once you are out of quarantine and once the campus is fully open and functional, you're not allowed to take food out from there.
I think that's an important thing to stress, Jackie, because you are arriving to campus new and unfamiliar with all of the way things work. The way things work in quarantine for those 10 days is not the way things work in the normal flow of campus. So you must be careful when you get into quarantine and other students arrive, not to assume that what you were doing before still applies. You'll have more freedoms, right? But you'll also have more restrictions. You won't be able to take all the food you want from the dining hall, and you won't have somebody bringing you Target runs, right? So everything kind of changes, and you'll have to relearn some things when you're out of quarantine and when campus starts back in its normal routine.
Exactly. That's very, very good advice, Michelle. The other way, if you needed to go to Target once you're out of quarantine, there's a campus shuttle that works. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure it's not every day until campus is fully reopened, but you can get back and forth to the mall using the free campus shuttle. You just have to get in the van and off you go.
I have a question for everybody. I'm one of the people behind the Spring 2021 WhatsApp student group. And our intention for that group was to help you connect with each other, to ask questions in a group format that other people might be also wondering. And I'm hopeful that it's helpful for you and that you're using it. Is that true? Are you in that group? Are you finding it helpful?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. I feel like maybe this is the right group to say yes, because the people who aren't there probably aren't here. So you're all very attentive students, and I think that bodes well for your success at college. So thank you very much for coming today and for being so curious.
Actually, some of the students who are in that group are not coming for Spring 2021.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that does change. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. So, one of the reasons we do that is so you can create community amongst yourselves and sort of help each other, but also become familiar with each other. So it's okay if some students are coming later, you just know them earlier than you might have otherwise. I don't want to.
Oh yeah. This is this semester are the activities open, like going to the gym or like
It's again
clubs?
there are limitations on how things will be open, and of course, if there's a rise in cases on campus, then we tend to shut things down. But last semester we learned a lot about outbreaks and what they were a result of. And so using that information, they're rethinking some of the limitations that we had in place in fall to try to make the spring a little bit more active on campus because fall was pretty quiet on campus. But we've learned that COVID-19 is spread by social groups. So it's more typically friends getting together and being unattentive to things like social distancing and masking, more so than people being in a gym with a mask on. So I think there'll be limitations, but I believe that some of those things will be open. And of course, there's always the outdoors where you can frolic.
And also an important note on that is that the university can only make so many decisions by ourselves. We are governed by the county and the state, the health department, and the State University of New York. When they decide that things need to change, we have to comply with them. So we can't make all the decisions for ourselves that we might want to. In some cases, that's a relief. And in other cases, it's a headache. But either way, the things that you're going to do in the airport and the quarantine and the testing, that's all handed to us. We can't change those things, many of them ourselves. So, and it's probably similar where you live, that your schools can't make all the decisions by themselves. They are told by higher authorities what they can and cannot do. And the same thing is true for the gym, like Jackie was just saying, the fitness center, which I like to use myself. If they're open or not, they don't get to decide. In many cases, the state says, all right, in this phase, all gyms are closed now. And then we have to comply.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just really hopeful that this fall, we're as close to normal as we can be. Because no one's more tired of this altered reality than us.
Oh yeah. Last moment cancellation of fall 2020 was really a heartbreak for me.
Well, the good news is we have more applications this time for fall of 2021 than we've ever had before from international students. So I think there are a lot of people out there who are very hopeful that things have turned a corner. And I think that we're right now at the peak of the disaster, and that we are on our way toward a better outcome 6 to 9 months from now. So there's a lot of optimism for so many reasons, especially in the United States. I could go down that path for a long time. I'm not going to, but there's a lot of optimism.
That's a whole nother 2-hour meeting.
Yes. If anybody wants to have a conversation about politics in the United States and my political leanings, we should have that on a separate Zoom call.
That's a sensitive topic to talk on, I believe, right now in the
Yes.
current situation.
Certainly is.
So yeah, Inauguration Day this week.
Wednesday.
I got an invitation. Now, I got an invitation and Steve did not. So I'm trying to figure out if this, like, not like come join us at the White House, but like a printed invitation that says, join us for inauguration. There'll be a lot of events. I'm like, how did I get this invitation? It's very strange. Did anybody else get an invitation? Michelle, Peter, did you get an invitation to inauguration?
You got it in the mail?
Yeah.
Really? I haven't checked my box. I'm sure it's waiting for me.
I'm going to go get it. You talk amongst yourselves.
I haven't received anything about inauguration.
Yeah, it's in the mail, Peter.
Well,
It's all right.
Yeah, when we saw the news of the Capitol riots, we were like, will they allow us Indians to come
Yeah,
in?
that was my first concern actually. I was so scared.
And actually, we were going to arrive on 21st and 20th. On 20th, Joe Biden was going to be the president, right?
So you're flying through. What is your first stop in the United States? Where do you go through?
Newark.
Newark.
Oh, yeah, fine.
Mine is Washington, D.C.
Right. So I said this to
Oh,
my
wow, good
husband.
choice.
We were talking about that, and I was talking to my husband about that. Students transiting through DC. He said, frankly, Jackie, that's probably one of the safest airports because there's going to be such high security there.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know. I mean, who could have predicted what happened last week? But yeah, of course. Me. Who are the idiots who didn't predict that? But okay, that's a whole other story. But here's my invitation.
Wow.
Wow.
It's like got a gold seal and everything.
Yeah.
It's
This
like
shows that
you are
everyone
special.
should check their mails regularly.
Say it again? Yeah, the Presidential Inaugural Committee is honored to announce the inauguration of Joseph Biden and Kamala Harris as on Wednesday, the 20th of January. It's like a wedding invitation.
Wow.
So I will be attending.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go?
No, you can't actually. They're not allowing the general public to go anywhere near that area on that day.
Oh,
But I will be watching it on television.
it will be actually very, very exciting to watch. Finally, Donald Trump like stepping off the president's. It'll be so relieving.
We're gonna talk.
Yes, you shouldn't make such comments.
No.
I think everyone has made such
You're in
comments in the
good
last
company here.
3 or 4 days.
I will tell you that for people who are in the field of education in the United States, generally speaking, the majority of them would not be offended by what you have just said. I can't speak for anyone personally, but I will say most people in the education space who believe in education and work in the field that we do, most of us are, like you said. I'll leave it at that, just to be polite.
And just one more statement along this path. So Joe Biden, our new president, his wife teaches at a community college. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It
So
is awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. And she intends to keep teaching.
Yeah.
So we have an educator in the White House. What a terrific thing.
Talk about a pendulum swing. My goodness.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy cow. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. I don't want to keep you any longer than is needed. It's really great to see you. I can't say how much we've missed actually seeing students and wish we could actually give you a hug when you get off the plane, which we can't. But it's been lovely, and looks like we have a new student joining us. So if you need to go or you want to go, feel free. We won't be offended. It's okay. If you want to stay and you have other questions or concerns you want to share with us, that's fine as well. It's up to you.
Excellent.
And actually, John B, I'm going to ask you because I think you're kind of the leader of this group.
Oh,
No,
it's
Muskan is the leader. Muskan is the leader.
Muskan is the leader. Muskan is the
Me
mom.
and Janvi are her children right now.
I apologize. I was a little late to today's meeting. Muskan, you guys, you are coming in on Thursday, is that right? That's what we
Yes.
said?
Yes, that's
Thursday afternoon at 3:30, is that it?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
yeah,
remember
that's
that.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's my trip, I think. I think that's me. So at the airport, look for me. Okay.
Yes,
For
absolutely,
sure.
Peter. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I will
really reassuring.
Yes, I will be there. I will be there.
Mr. Peter, do you remember in one of our meetings, someone called you Ross from Friends?
Awesome. That made my day.
I had forgotten about that. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Yes, that's right. I do remember that. And that's actually, you know what? That's not the first time I've heard that. I used to be a teacher in China for a long time, and I heard that in China a few times too, because Friends is very popular in China as well. And I don't see the resemblance, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I hear that very
Actually, the first thing that pops up in my mind when I hear Peter's name is that when we had the fall orientation, he was like, "Please come meet me when you get on campus. Like everyone forgets about me." And I was like, "I will make sure to do that."
well. Cheers.
That's
That's
awesome.
funny.
So Hani just joined us. Hani, is your formal name Bisrat? Can you hear us?
Still on mute.
Yeah. I sent a message, but I don't know
Oh,
that
you
she.
did. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
This is Jackie. Hani is your formal name or your first name, you the name on your passport, Bisrat?
Yes, my name is Basrat. I was using my sister's account because my phone is currently disabled. I currently came to the States like yesterday, and I was just getting settled in, and I didn't have time to buy a new phone or a laptop, so I had to use her phone.
So your sister's in the US.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, how was your trip?
My trip was very well, yeah. It was good. Thank you.
Anything you would want other people who are beginning their trip later in this week to know about anything that was a surprise along the way?
Nothing much really. I'll just say like to get like more prepared and know what you want, and now I'm actually very well prepared, and I'm just like ready to come, and that'll be it.
Where are you now? Where are you physically located this morning?
Well, now currently I'm at my aunt's house. I'm in Virginia, and whenever it's like convenient, once I'm done with my basic college shopping, I'll be there.
So you're coming to Plattsburgh when?
January 29th.
January 29th. Okay, so you're going to stay in Virginia. You're going to delay your arrival and coming
Yeah,
up.
because I recently got the email that the school will now be opening on February 1 instead of January 25. So I decided to stay here, and then when it's time, I'll fly out and come to Plattsburgh.
Great. So you know you have to quarantine the whole time.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. And the other thing I should tell you is there's a form. If you're quarantining not on campus, there's a form you're supposed to fill out, a health form that basically says, yep, I've been quarantining and that I'm keeping myself safe. so that when you come to campus, there's evidence that you have been quarantining for the appropriate amount of time.
That's very good. Actually, I want to ask you about this. Before I left my country, I actually got tested
Yep.
in my country for coronavirus, and my results came negative. And I
Right.
want to know if am I still quarantining?
So you have two options. So on day 4, after you arrive, you can get another test here in the United States.
Okay.
It has to be, it can't be an antigen test, which is a different kind of test. It has to be what's called a PCR test. PCR. And if you get a second test and it is also negative, then and you have those results, so you have to have evidence of those results, then I believe you can stop quarantining, but you have to quarantine until that point.
Okay, very well. Okay, sounds very good.
And Belle, you had a question about that too. I sent it on to Quarantine Help, but if you have a negative, so if you've already quarantined before you get to campus, you just have to have evidence of that or evidence of a negative test result before you come to campus.
Okay, actually, I'm sorry, but I want to ask you, can I get tested here in Virginia, or do I have to go test it there?
So
Yeah.
Virginia, that's a good question.
Jackie, I think that there might be some additional quarantine needed if you're traveling from a different US state.
Right. I just thought of that.
Right now you're quarantining because you have traveled internationally and you're good in Virginia by Virginia state rules. When you leave Virginia and you arrive in New York, you will need to quarantine again by New York state rules.
Right.
So
Right.
it helps to an extent, but you'll still need to quarantine after traveling interstate within the US. So let's
Okay.
make sure we can talk individually on that, because this isn't, I don't think, irrelevant to anyone else on this call, but just be aware that New York State will require you to do some quarantining also.
Okay, very well.
Thank you, Michelle. I had lost that piece of the equation in my head.
That's what I had to do going to Rhode Island a couple weeks ago.
We can't, so Vermont is on the other side of the lake here. They don't allow New Yorkers in right now. They don't want New Yorkers to come into their state. So even within states, because we don't have a national response and to the coronavirus, the COVID-19, each state is deciding their own travel restrictions. So Michelle's absolutely right. If you're staying in Virginia, you're going to have to quarantine again or have another negative test 4 days after you arrive.
But don't worry if you're flying to Vermont, we can get you.
Right.
It's a day trip for very specific reasons like medical care and transportation. You're okay.
Exactly. So many complicated factors. That's why there are 3 of us on the call this morning. So if I make a mistake, somebody else will catch it.
And that's why we recorded it. So we can make sure that everything we spoke was accurate.
Or correct it afterwards.
At the time, correct at the time. Today is January 16th, 2021, for those of you listening.
At 10 a.m.
7:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m.
8:30 p.m. where you are.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right. Yep.
You're talking to us from the future.
Is it any better there?
Nope. No. Stay in the past. It's better there. Be great the future.
So I've heard that India, I was just reading the news this morning, India is starting the most widespread vaccination campaign of any country on earth at this moment.
Yeah, they are. It's like this at my residence complex, everyone is getting vaccinated, like from the east west. Sorry, from the
It
east to west.
started
Yeah.
today only. Yeah.
Started today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Impressive.
I just got a message, I think I saw today, or maybe it was yesterday, from Pearl Physical Therapy. That's where I would do my physical therapy. It said something about the COVID vaccine, that the place is open now and that healthcare workers and grocery store workers and people over 65, and it gave a list of all the people that could start. So it's coming here, I suppose.
It is. It is coming. I know Yash is going to be at the end of the line because he doesn't want to get a vaccination.
I hope we can get
No, I
vaccinated.
do want to get a
so
vaccination, but I
soon.
just don't want it to be painful, like needles or anything.
That's why you're leaving India before they do the mass vaccination campaign. We're excited to see you.
He's avoiding the needle by flying halfway
Yeah.
around the world.
You and Peter have
Yeah,
something in
in-
common to talk about, Yash. I think Peter likes to get shots about as much as you do.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
we've already chatted about that privately.
yeah.
We're gonna run.
Janvi loves getting poked by needles all the time, right, Janvi?
Yeah, that is so true, right? Everyone
Yeah.
loves needles.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Stop spreading rumors.
So do you like needles? What's on a scale of the things you like? Which is better, a vaccination or the thing that they put up your nose when you do a COVID test?
Definitely a needle instead of the nasal test.
Oh, me too. I feel like they're
I've had it before.
particularly
No,
my,
A vaccine is literally much better than a nasal test,
yes.
for sure.
Agreed.
I take the
I
nasal.
actually
Nasal is
accidentally
better.
pushed the nurse while she was doing it.
I didn't find, I've had only
Already,
one actual PCR test where they went up the nose. And the way everybody talked about it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be terrible. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I agree. I did. It wasn't anything.
That is going to happen to you on Monday. Actually, all of us.
Oh no, dude.
I'm so happy that Yash is crying.
So the
It's
pool
gonna be a
testing
long
is
flight
not-
with you on. It's gonna be a long flight for me.
I agree. You're going to be annoying.
Yeah, from Mumbai to Delhi, both of us are gonna fly, right? Yeah, when we
Yes.
land, it's gonna be one of us because I'm gonna kill you.
You know,
Let's see who kills
yes,
someone
this
first.
is recorded. This is being recorded right now.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yash, you just threatened to kill me.
they'll have proof if she dies even in an accident.
Yeah, I'm going to use that.
You'll
Oh, no.
already be dead now.
No, I just write a letter to my parents about it.
What?
That's a nice idea.
That's cheating,
I
by the
know,
way.
I
Okay?
I can get it notarized on Monday.
I don't know. Yeah, finally we're going to Plattsburgh. It's gonna be awesome.
Actually, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
can't
I was packing my bags before this meeting.
Yeah, we all saw that, Yash.
Jacket and everything.
Yeah.
My comforter, my bag.
Listen, I have a favor to ask you all because Jackie and I both are parents of boys about college age. So make sure you give your moms plenty of love because they will be crying when you leave. They will be sad.
Yes. Actually, my mom is crying right now.
I'm sorry.
I had my sons both go to Plattsburgh, or I have 3 sons, one who lives locally and the 2 who go to Plattsburgh. So my first experience was sending one of my children far away. Michelle has more experience than I, was last spring. And I was not prepared for how hard that was. I'm a pretty cool mom. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Not cool. Not cool.
It feels like a piece of your heart has left your body. That's how it hurts.
Yep. So be
But
nice.
we're also proud and cannot wait for that. We just know that it's needed, but it just hurts as a mom.
Yep. Very true.
My parents are so protective because I'm an only child. So they are like a bit sensitive right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the good news is back in the day, when I was in college in the last millennium, you had to, like, a phone call was a fortune. And so there was only letters, but you guys can keep in touch with your family just like this. That was not possible, in some ways it's a great thing because you can see them and it doesn't feel so far. The other problem is you can sometimes not be as independent as you probably would be otherwise because you're constantly in touch with home. So it's a mixed blessing.
Exactly. The first thing I'm going to call mom is like, how to do laundry.
Ask Muskan, na? She's our mom with Plattsburgh now.
Yeah.
Your geo buddies will help you learn how to do that. And also in your residence halls, when everybody moves in, there'll be something called community advisor, CA. And those people are also very helpful to help you answer questions about where things are and how to do this or that, or how to do everything basically in a college environment. You know how to do it at your house, but you may not know how to do it here.
And I should mention that too. That's another thing about quarantine. You're not allowed to do laundry in quarantine. You can't use the laundry room. Once you move into your residence hall, there's a laundry room in every building. So you can use it. And there's no cost, it's free. But while you're in quarantine, so you should have enough clothing to get you through 10 days of quarantine.
You can buy more underclothes at Target if you need them.
We'll pick them up for you. So I have to step away for just a minute, but I'm going to make Michelle a co-host.
Uh-oh, don't make it Peter, Jackie, because my internet is not great.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't want to make everybody drop off.
There you go.
Is it still snowing in Plattsburgh? Like how much does it snow?
It's still snowing pretty hard right now.
We haven't had snow for weeks.
Yeah, this year, last year was my first year here in Plattsburgh, and I hadn't seen snow in a very long time. And I was very surprised. It snowed a lot this time. By this time last year, it had snowed probably 3 or 4 times, wouldn't you say?
Oh no.
But
what's the
this year,
temperature right now, like approximately?
I'll look.
I don't know.
It's 32 degrees, so 0.
Oh,
It's 0.
wow. Perfect.
0 with no wind, which makes a big difference. No wind, but we do have some clouds, and sometimes the clouds means less cold. If there are no clouds, then the cold front of weather come down and freeze everything. So clouds make it sometimes warmer, I guess, but then also bright sun can make it feel warmer, even though the cold air is maybe a little sharper.
It's that wind though. When it's cold, it's usually the wind is biting. But
what you will soon learn is that we have adapted our garments that we wear here to take care of the weather. Yeah. So you may be thinking about the warmest thing you've ever seen worn in your home country right now, and how terrible that would be if that's what you had to do outside right now when it's 0 degrees.
In Mumbai, in winter, we wear shorts.
Yeah, right. So
yeah.
Agreed.
So think about the fact that when you get here, you will learn how to dress and what you need to put on you in order to feel comfort. We don't live in this place where every time we go outside, we are uncomfortable. We just put on a lot of outer gear, a hat, a mittens, and scarf. Just in the same way, when Peter and I have traveled to hot climates, we have suffered and had to figure out how can we possibly, you can only take off so many clothes before you are inappropriately dressed. so in your case, you can put on as many clothes as you want and still be appropriate. You might look silly, but you can put on as many clothes as you want. And we will show you. We have a fun little video. Usually we have a fashion show, winter fashion show, where we make everybody get dressed all up in all of the boots, the footwear that you would have, the socks, the extra layers of clothing underneath your top layer of pants, for example. There's 2 layers of pants you could have, and warm jackets and all the things that will keep you comfortable. Do not try and pretend that you know how to dress in this weather. Come and listen to what we have to say and take our.
Yeah. We're not going to do that mistake.
Definitely.
We're not going to do that mistake.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And it's probably about time, Michelle. We should do an updated fashion show. So we're gonna need Yash for like the men's clothing. So when we finish
That's
that,
right.
I would love to see that.
I thought you
Yash
might.
awkwardly walking around.
I thought you might. So, Janvi, you and Muskan, maybe you can help pick out some things for Yash to model for everyone, and
Oh, for sure.
We would
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah, they'll love to. Yeah,
Absolutely.
they'll love to embarrass me all the time.
I will get you in touch with our colleague Ellen to set that up, and we will do a winter clothing fashion show starring Yash.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
For sure. For
Absolutely.
sure.
Fantastic.
I think that could be a fun, in normal times, that could be a fun team builder when we're able to get to with each other, have a pile of winter clothes and then make the people decide what the person should wear. That would be fun.
Yes, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
You still
But yeah,
excited?
we
to come to
still have to
Plattsburgh?
get adapted to that weather, the Plattsburgh weather, because I think Plattsburgh is like just 20 minutes away from Canada border.
About, yeah, from the border, yeah. 30.
border.
Yes, so it's gonna be super cold. Yeah, and personally, Indians in general hate cold.
This is going to be a great
Especially people
experience.
from Western area in India, like
Mm.
Mumbai
Yeah.
side. We've never experienced cold practically.
Even in winters, we wear shorts and just like roam about in
pretty
the
cold
streets.
here.
Exactly. We are sweating in winters.
Scott, what did you say?
Yeah, I said it's pretty cold here in New Delhi.
New Delhi, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in northern part of India. You know.
Well, let's hear from Belle. Belle, if you can unmute yourself for a minute. You've come from a warm climate and you landed in Plattsburgh. You've been here, I don't know, maybe 24 hours, maybe not. I wondered if you have any advice for our friends who are coming from warm climates in a few days or a week. And she's muted now, so she may not be.
Oh, she's here.
I ordered a bunch of stuff on Amazon. It seems to have been working because I wasn't freezing cold when walking from the airport to here. I had like on 3 layers on my top and then 2 layers on the bottom. And I got these cool thermo socks. I think that's what they're
Yes.
called. My feet are very warm. I'm not freezing cold. Just remember to layer, and the clothing you need to wear here is much thicker. Like I know back home, everything, even like long sleeve stuff is like so thin you could probably like see through it if you like stretched it. So layer in very warm and thick stuff and you'll be fine.
The buildings are often on campus are very well heated. So you have to, that's why layering is good, because you get into the building and you take off a couple of layers. And then before you go outside to walk to your next class or to lunch or whatever, you put on those layers again. So you have to, there's 2 different kinds of clothing, the inside clothing and the outside clothing. In your residence hall, I see students all the time walking around their residence hall with just t-shirts and shorts on, because it's pretty warm in the residence hall.
So they're warmers, they're heaters in the halls.
Oh,
Yeah, they're central heaters. So there's heating throughout the building. There's not space heaters, there's not room heaters. Those actually not allowed. But the building is often too warm. Students will complain that their room is too warm and they leave the window open a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question. It may be irrelevant or something, but like, is it okay if we don't come with a credit or a debit card? Like, is it okay, or we should bring it? What would you suggest?
So most students will open a local bank account. And there are a couple that many students do use, and we'll talk to you more about that during orientation. And both of those banks have on-campus ATM machines, and so you can get money out of those accounts on campus from both of those banks. So credit card, I'm not a huge fan of credit cards for college students. I think you can do some really big damage to your future. by having a credit card, but a debit card you should have probably, just so you can keep money in a bank and take it out as you need it.
But here's another complicated point. For the first 10 days in your quarantine, you will not be able to go to a bank and open a bank account. So you should have enough funds with you, either credit or not, to get through those first days. So if you want to order from Target, for example, after you arrive, you're going to need some kind of credit. You can't do that with cash. So that may be something we can help you with. If you choose to, if you can't bring a credit card, we'll have to find a workaround that we work with. But ordinarily you'd open a bank account pretty soon, and that would be your way to spend money. But not having electronic funds for quarantine might be difficult.
Okay.
You could use parents' credit card or something. I don't know exactly how that works, but
That's what I was asking about. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Forex card should be fine, right?
A what card? Sorry,
Forex card.
I am not familiar with that. Maybe someone, a GeoBuddy, or ask in the WhatsApp group. Other people from who have that card may be able to tell you.
That's a good plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think electronic cash or electronic funds are helpful in quarantine. Or you might arrange with someone you trust who has a credit card to borrow it and exchange currency in another way with them.
Trying to think of other workarounds, but yeah, that's true.
I don't know, like a gift card. I mean, if somebody gave me $100 US, I could go to Target and get you a gift card, and then you could use that gift card to purchase the things like we could do that, Jackie.
Yeah, that's what
It's got to help you out. Did you understand that? Like if you gave a cash US dollars to one of us, we could turn that into a gift card for you at Target, for example. If that's a real problem, we could work one-on-one to figure out a way.
Right.
But you would have to have the cash dollars on you when you came, which is why you need to start now thinking about how many cash dollars you're going to need or you think you will need for that quarantine period.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I actually have a
order some
question.
Stuff from Amazon. What
you're not-
address do we need to give? Like to get stuff?
Ordering stuff from Amazon. We have limited space to keep things for you, but if you're ordering only a few things, you can have them sent to our office and you should have that address. If you're ordering lots of things, that might be a problem. So you might want to wait until you actually get here and you have an address to mail to.
Yes, and if you order
So,
things
like,
from
after
Amazon, you can't guarantee when you will actually receive them in your room. It'll take time for us to get them where they need to go. So that is not the preferred method. Wait until you are here, order from Target, and you'll get them the next day.
Right.
Okay.
I actually want to ask you a question. I'm sorry, but what's the situation on families coming with you on campus? Is that allowed or?
Families can come with you to move you in, I think. That's a good question for quarantine help. There's an email address called, I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you. Quarantine help, all one word, at plattsburgh.edu. I think that was in the email I sent yesterday. I said, any quarantine questions you have. So for domestic students, but again, the domestic students are generally coming from within New York, so they're not having a quarantine issue. I think that question is best asked to quarantine help because I don't want to give you bad advice.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much. Also, I want to ask you, so on Friday, when we arrive to Plattsburgh, the shuttle is going to be waiting for us to take us to school?
Yep, as long as you tell us your one day. So have you submitted your arrival information, Visrat?
No, not my arrival information.
So that's the form that we use to prepare for your transportation. So
Very
if you
well.
don't submit that, no one will be waiting for you.
No worries. I'll
Yeah, so please do that sooner than later, so
Yeah.
we know.
Of course, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I think I'm going to sign off now. I really have appreciated hearing from you. It makes me feel good that you're coming, that we're actually going to get the rewards of all of our hard work, which is you. You are our reward. So I cannot wait to have you here. It's been a pleasure trying to help you today. And I'll be on the WhatsApp group if you have further questions.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you
this
so much,
meeting,
Miss Michelle.
Thank
this
you.
meeting makes it feel a little more real, doesn't it?
Indeed.
It's
Yeah.
not just names on lists or I-20s or anything like that. It's actually faces and conversations, and that makes it really exciting, I think.
So I think
And
what I'll do is, oh, sorry, Peter, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and to know that Muskan has everything under control in India, and she's gonna. I feel a lot better knowing that Janvi and Yash are in good hands here. So
Yes.
Yes, she will lead us everywhere.
And then next semester, Muskan, you can be one of the orientation leaders, our geo buddies, so you can lead the new students around since you've got experience.
Yep.
I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that.
All right, well, folks, I'm gonna go
It's
downtown.
like if I can manage these two, I can manage anyone.
I believe that's true, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on,
I'm in
dude.
trouble too yet. Come on.
Come on, dude. It's not like that. We'll
I'm
meet you in New Delhi. You'll see.
So I'm gonna stop this meeting. I'm gonna go downtown to my favorite coffee place and get another cup of coffee. It's called Chapter One. When you get to campus, I'm happy to show you where that is. It's a wonderful little local place.
Definitely.
Yep, you can find us by email or on our WhatsApp anytime. If you need to set up another one-on-one kind of Zoom session, we're also happy to do that for you. So we are here eagerly awaiting your arrival and any other questions that you have.
And on Thursday, I will be there eagerly awaiting your arrival in Burlington. And Gurjot, I think Amanda will be at the Plattsburgh pickup on Thursday.
Fully decided yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty
think
sure. I'm pretty sure it's Amanda, but someone will be there. So
I just realized we're traveling in 4 days, guys.
I haven't
I
packed
just
anything yet.
realized.
Start packing, people.
Yeah.
All right.
bring something warm for the van ride back to Plattsburgh, because I
Yes,
have to
yes,
put the
absolutely.
windows down.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we will.
So,
That'll be
all
good.
righty.
All right. See everybody soon.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Thank you.
Google. Thank you
Bye.
so much,
Have a nice
Peter.
day.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
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 Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.